So the next segment of the show is all about Project Catalyst. Okay, we're now reviewing proposals. So if you're a Catalyst advisor, then you've already signed up to Idea Scale. You're reviewing proposals. And last fund, I reviewed 7 and I made 1,200 ADA. Okay, I did everything that the guides showed me, told me to say. In this section of the video, I'm going to share with you the guides for Fund 8, which is the fund that we're on. And I'm going to put all those resources in the description below so you can go and view them yourself. And I think that if you're still reviewing, this will be helpful. If you haven't looked at the guides, make sure that you look at them, because this is what I followed last one, and every one of my reviews did exceptional. And I got extra incentives because of how good they were just by following the guides. In this fund, if you haven't looked at the guides, I'd recommend it. Or if you haven't signed up for Idea Scale, I would still recommend this, because if we enter into a bear market, right, and you could use a little extra ADA. I spent 14 hours, but imagine if you spent, like 48 hours and you're an exceptional reviewer, you could probably make, who knows, maybe $5,000, maybe $10,000 from just reviewing proposals. So I want to share with you these timeless guides and elements, so that way you can kind of gain a sense of how to review proposals in the best way. So without further ado, let me share my screen and show you what I mean. So the first resource that I'll list below is How to Be a Community Advisor, the Catalyst School. Okay, this is for Fund 8, which is the fund that we're on. Okay, now I'm just going to link this in the description if you want to watch this full thing. You don't have to. These next 2 resources I actually think are more valuable. So this is a slide show kind of from that same YouTube. You can actually, I'm only going to list the YouTube link, but if you want, you can go into the description of the YouTube and just pick out these slides. So basically, how to assess a proposal. Okay, well, there's 3 categories for Fund 8, just like Fund 7. They're pretty much the same. Impact, okay, feasibility, and then clarity, auditability. So how I look at these now, as kind of a veteran, Catalyst advisor, I haven't signed up to be a VCA, but technically I got incentivized. So I think I know what I'm doing, right? Impact. So this is really my favorite one, right? And I gave out a lot of high scores on this because I was picking proposals that really interested me, right? So I already immediately saw that this proposal could have been impactful for Cardano. Okay, I recommend that you pick proposals and you stick maybe in one of the challenges, because there's a bunch of different challenges that you can choose. So last fund, I did everything was DeFi, because I've done a lot of DeFi in my life, right? So essentially, what DeFi proposals were impactful? So that was the challenge that I went after, and I picked out the DeFi kind of boosting DeFi and Cardano proposals that I found really impactful. Okay, what would actually help Cardano? Or what would help boost DeFi, right, on Cardano? How impactful is the proposal? Feasibility is simply, is this doable? Okay, are they trying to do something as crazy and like a different challenge as building an entire metaverse like Pavia to compete with Sandbox and Decentraland? That is already very low feasibility, but where you could still rank something like that high feasibility is, number one, you need to think about how much funds are they requesting. Because if they're saying they're going to build an entire metaverse with $5,000 or $50,000, I mean, come on, that's ridiculous. But if they're saying they only need $50,000 to do one implementation of their metaverse, I mean, that could be very feasible, right? Then you want to look at the team. You want to look at some other factors to just grade in yourself. If you were reading it as a white paper, is this actually feasible? Okay. Then the third section is clarity, auditability. Okay. Are they showing you where the funds are being spent? Are they telling you, hey, we're asking for $50,000 and we're taking $10,000 and putting 5 in 2 of our pockets to live off of for the next couple months? That's fine. That's totally, I'm cool with that, as long as they tell you. Now, are they saying that, they are taking $1,000 and, putting it here, and then they're putting $8,000 and they're not telling you where that other $8,000 is going? It's not very clear where the funds are going. It's not really clear Key metrics is another thing that would impact this score. Are they giving you key metrics of like what they're aiming for that we can audit them? Are they giving us like, hey, we're gonna have this kind of social following, or we're gonna have, you know, maybe this kind of market capitalization by this month, or we can't tell what kind of market cap. If they're not giving you a date on these key metrics, maybe they give you a reason why they can't give you a date. And that's super helpful. I always appreciate that. That's not going to lower their score, because one thing about DeFi in particular is we don't know what DeFi looks like on Cardano yet. And it's hard to say we're going to have a market cap by this date. Instead, maybe it's the progress of the actual application. Okay. Maybe by this date, we're going to hit mainnet, right? So these are things that will impact the auditability. Can you audit them after the fact and say, hey, you said that you were going to be here by this date, but you're not? Can we audit that? Okay, hold them accountable, right? And then you can rate them 1 through 5, okay? And then you got to give them a rational explanation justifying the score given. And all these slides are super helpful. So I'm just going to link this whole video, which has the slides in the description below. Next up, you can actually read the entire community advisor guide, which I would highly recommend. So I'm going to link this in the description below. And then to finish off, for people that don't know about Project Catalyst, all the network fees. So when we do transactions, we spend a fee that goes to Project Catalyst. Okay. Essentially, Project Catalyst, what it does is it has $1 billion in their treasury. This fund is going to be $16 million that they're going to give out to community proposals that are voted on and reviewed. Okay. And remember, if a proposal doesn't get a high review score, that's why we score 1 through 5, chances are people aren't going to vote on it. Okay. You can make money by voting, you can make money by reviewing, and you can make money by proposing even. Now, when a proposal gets funded, so let's say a proposal gets 100 grand, that's a grant. Okay. We call it. It's not money that proposal needs to pay back. Okay. It's not a loan. It's a grant. It's free and clear. Now you can do whatever you want with that money. And it's really easy for Project Catalyst to do that, because now they don't have to do credit checks. They don't have to make sure that the proposal can pay them back. And there's a continual flywheel in Project Catalyst, because every transaction fee is going towards the treasury. So as Cardano adoption grows, as more projects come to Cardano and more people use them, now that treasury keeps growing until one day, who knows how many transaction fees are worth what? We might see a $10 billion treasury just from transaction fees alone. So they can continue giving out more money to build Cardano. As Cardano builds, they get more money to give out. And that's why they're able to pay reviewers, proposers, and voters simultaneously. That's how Project Catalyst is a beautiful yin and yang ecosystem. It does have issues. It does have challenges to overcome, because the community is going to be self-governed in that respect. And they're building out the governance infrastructure right now. There's people who are afraid that it could be taken advantage of. And then there's people who are afraid that it could become very bureaucratic. Okay. So we need to incentivize competent people, right? We need to incentivize decentralization. And we haven't quite figured it all out yet. There's still things to overcome. It is an experiment, but it is one of Cardano's greatest experiments. And it's incredible to watch and be part of. If you want to get started in Project Catalyst, I recommend you go to the town halls, which is every Wednesday at 2 p.m. East now, since we put our clocks forward. It was 1 p.m. East for a bit there, but now it's 2 p.m. East if you're in the US. Do the math, figure it out for what time it is in your jurisdiction. But if you are not certain, then go to the IOHK YouTube channel, okay, which I'll link in the description below. You can check that out. And every Wednesday, you'll see a live stream of the weekly town hall, okay? To participate in the weekly town hall, all you have to do is go in the description of that live stream, click on a Zoom link, and now, boom, you're in the Zoom that they're streaming live to YouTube. After the town hall is over, the YouTube ends. But actually, if you're on that Zoom call, you get to participate in breakout rooms, around 20 to 5 people in each one, depending on what they're talking about, and network with very high valued people in Cardano, as well as beginners in Cardano. And each breakout room has a different theme. So one might be how to become a CA. One might be how to do a proposal. So you start learning, gathering information. Everyone in Catalyst is really high energy, so just be prepared for that. Well, not everyone. There's a few people that are kind of like, you know, low key. And then you got curious minds like myself. You know, I don't bring a ton of fragrance and energy. I just bring that, you know, curiosity of like, what is this breakout room about and whatnot? And what is this project about? You even sometimes have projects that have gone through Catalyst that do those breakout rooms, like Empower. I've been at a breakout room for Empower, so you get to learn and talk to the founders of Empower or other projects that go through Catalyst and see what their experience was like and where they're at. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, that's the GA Crypto Show, which is when I do a bunch of updates on a bunch of different genres of Cardano. People tell me it's, you know, one of the best shows for Cardano content that is in existence. I say that they're lying and they want something from me, but no, I'm just kidding. But I do try to give valuable research. So if you would like to subscribe to the channel, because it helps me out, hit the like button because it helps spread this content out. More people can get aware of it, and leave a comment of what you liked about this video, what you'd like to see more of from me in these updates and whatnot. I will be putting this little, I've noticed too that I made it too small on that one, but there is usually a little logo on all my GA Crypto shows, like this one here. If you look at the thumbnail, there's one on this one here, which you couldn't really see. I will be making that logo a lot bigger so people know and can recognize what's GA Crypto show and then what's like a one-off review or what's an interview, because people have asked me to do that. And we're not doing the gauntlet today, but we will be continuing the gauntlet. Me and Timmy love hanging out and talking to you guys. We don't just do sponsored projects on the gauntlet. It is the only one that we do sponsored projects on. Pavia supports my channel, but they don't tell me what to say or how to say it. They just really like what my channel is about, and that's a huge help. But for sponsored reviews and projects, we've chosen the gauntlet as a great way for our communities to give feedback to the projects, where we can be honest in our reviews and not just shill the crap out of a certain project. So that's why we do sponsored reviews on the gauntlet, but we also do other huge stories happening in Cardano. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Let me know what you'd like to see more of. Let me know what you liked about this GA Crypto show, and I will see you soon. Peace.